Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. This one is a bit of just like an update video. I haven't done anything kind of non-plant related for a little while. There is some plant related stuff in here. I thought I would do some propagation box updates because a lot has changed in my prop boxes. There's not a huge amount going on with them, but there are some plants that have done really well. So I want to share those with you. I also have a couple of interesting updates which have kind of been going on lately. So I wanted to share them with you because they hopefully will affect my channel in a positive way. So I have just purchased and spent rather a lot of money on a beautiful HP Spectre X360. So this is a really nice laptop that you can video edit on, and it kind of doubles. It's one of those ones that doubles as a tablet. Oh my gosh, I'm like really frightened that I'm going to drop this. But it goes all the way around so that you can use it as a tablet, so that will be really good. It's got like decent specs and stuff so that it can handle video processing, because at the moment all I do video processing wise is, or sorry, I should say video editing wise, is I edit everything on my phone, which is fine. But it's just kind of a bit clunky. Like, I don't know if clunky is the word. Feels like it's probably the word. Yeah, clunky. It's just, it's not necessarily the most easy way to do editing, and I've been putting this off for a long time, but I'm kind of now in a position where I need to have a laptop, and to buy a cheaper laptop only to eventually replace it with one that's capable of video editing doesn't seem like it makes sense really. So I've just kind of bitten the bullet now, and it's an expensive laptop, and yeah, hopefully it will be really worth it, because I am also starting a nutrition course. So some of you might remember from one of my previous videos, I've been studying to be a sports massage therapist. My exams are currently on hold, and I really feel kind of the need to keep doing kind of self-improvement stuff and giving myself options for the future. So nutrition is my kind of next step while I am waiting for my sports massage exams to take place. This is all just because of lockdown, which is, you know, fair enough. So yeah, that's kind of the dealio right now. I thought I would also show you this awesome book. I love this book. If you have watched any of my previous plant book recommendation videos, I don't know if I have recommended it in more than one. I've certainly got one video about it. You'll know that my favourite plant care book is the Dr. Hessason Practical Plant Expert, I think it's called, which is it's a really old book. It's from the 80s, but it is still like top notch. It is my ultimate favorite go-to plant care book. But this one is really cool. This is Plantopedia, the definitive guide to houseplants. It is chunky. It's a very awesome encyclopedia, I guess, of plants, and it's got all sorts of plants. It's kind of, ooh, so something just fell out of there, so I'm gonna have to look at what that was. But it's got all sorts of beautiful photographs of plants, and it's got like sections based on genuses. So this is the Begonia genus, which is obviously my favorite. Look, it's got gorgeous Brevera Mimosa there, and Immaculata Whitei. Ooh, okay, this is harder than I expected holding this up, although I should have expected it. Begonia peltata. Ooh, what's that one? Nigricans, or yeah, Begonia mazze nigricans. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So you might be able to see, I don't know if you can actually see that, but it just kind of has a couple of care tips, and it also kind of just tells you a little bit about this type of begonia or this type of plant. But there's all sorts of things. It's got a lot of aroids in there, so if you have an interest in aroids, then this is definitely a great book for you. But yeah, it's got loads and loads of things. We've got a whole anthurium section. I really love this book. So I was thinking, would anybody be interested in me doing a review of this book, because it's really, really cool and it's very big, so I feel like it kind of warrants its own video in itself. And I think this is probably like a really good gift either for yourself or for someone else. So yeah, let me know in the comments if a review of this book is something you might be interested in. Going on to semi-plant related, I just kind of wanted to say what I've been up to, because I've been not particularly active on social media lately. I don't know if anyone is following me enough to notice or care, but yeah, I thought I'd just say anyway. I've been doing a lot of crochet, and again, I mentioned this in a previous video, I have a really cool book on crocheting cactus and succulents, and I made this little fella. He's quite cool. He's meant to be oh man, I'm gonna forget. I can remember the common name. He was meant to be a golden barrel cactus, but I couldn't get any hold of any yellow eyelash yarn. But yeah, he's been really fun to make. I've made a few things now. I've also made an octopus, which I really love Mr. Octopus. He's really, really cool. He took me forever. I've made a little turtle. At the moment, I am trying to make a blanket, so that's going to take me a while. But yeah, I'm just finding that is like a really nice relaxation activity, and it's definitely keeping me occupied during lockdown. And I think between crochet and plants, they are definitely the two things keeping me sane in terms of activities, especially because the gym, which is my ultimate favourite hobby, is closed. So until that is open again, I've got a lot of spare time on my hands for yeah, making stuff, and really enjoying this. And I'm planning to do a few more plants and stuff like that, so as and when I do them, I will show them on this channel. I am currently reading The Salt Path by Raina Wynn, which is actually a true story of a middle-aged couple, I believe, who were made homeless following a bad investment, and their home was repossessed, and it kind of, I think in the same week they were given a diagnosis for the man in the relationship. He had a terminal illness diagnosis. So I think instead of kind of trying to start fresh in a new home straight away, they decided to take the South Coast Path. I think it's just called the South Coast Path. I can't remember what it's called. Did it say? Southwest Coast Path. And it's 630 miles. And I am about 7 chapters in. I'm really, really, really enjoying this. I didn't actually think that it would be up my street, because I'm not much of an avid like hiker or walker or backpacker or anything like that, but I'm actually really enjoying it. So yeah, definitely recommend that so far. It's just a really nice, like, gentle read. You don't have to focus too hard. It's just, yeah, really enjoying it. I think that is everything for the other update, so I'll probably switch us around and go onto the propagation boxes, and I might give you a little peek of my begonias as well, because they're doing a lot better than they were. So yeah, I will switch you around. Okay guys, I'm going to be brutally honest and show you exactly what is going on here. This propagation box has just got kind of a cloudiness on it. I spilled something on it and I just haven't bothered to properly clean it up. This one has got soil on it, as you can see. I've been lazy, to tell you the truth. But these are my prop boxes, or really the main ones. I've got a couple more, but I will show you. I think this one's probably the most interesting one. Certainly from my perspective. Oh, sorry, I'm just changing my leg position. Right, so this, may as well get straight into there. This is a beautiful little Philodendron brantianum. And I know it's looking a little bit yellow here. Hold on. I wonder if that will help. Oops. So he is doing extremely well. I am really, really pleased with that. If you can see there, he's got another little leaf coming through, just there. and he's got some aerial roots and everything, so I think it's time for me to start thinking about climbing him up something, but he's looking really good. I'm so pleased with that. Next we have my Begonia chloronura. You may recognize this if you have been here for a while. Let me just move these. Oh, this turns out this is harder than I thought it would be. So this fella is doing so well. I cannot believe it. I bought him as a tiny little little begonia cutting. Actually, you might see kind of an example of how big he was a bit later. But he is absolutely gorgeous. Particularly this leaf is like really growing into the actual shape of the chloronura. And look at the undersides. Oh, that's so pretty. We've got this little fuzzy leaf coming through here. He's just doing really well. And I literally, guys, to be honest with you, I never even take the lid off of this propagation box, and he seems to really like it at that kind of humidity. So yep, if you have a chloronura or anything that kind of originates kind of in the Philippines like this, in a really tropical kind of environment, I would definitely consider keeping it in a closed terrarium. I am very frightened of the thought of keeping him out of the terrarium, out of the propagation box. So I don't know, I might experiment with one of the propagations because I've got a couple going now, so we'll see. This is my soaring state of a Philodendron melanochrysum. He is finally sort of starting to pick up a bit. We've got those nice big leaves there. It's been a journey, boy. Oh yep. But he's definitely starting to make progress, which I am really chuffed about. I don't really know what happened to him. It seems to be that when I moved house, he just really suffered. But living in that propagation box, he seems much happier. But certainly is taking his time. Here is most likely a goner. This was my Begonia hoeniana. But you might be able to see down here, I still have two of the leaves from the hoeniana. So I'm hoping that they might grow into something. They certainly seem to be throwing out roots, so I'm like all fingers crossed that they might come into something. Then we've got a Begonia Indian Summer. This is the Belief Rex cultivar, and that's the mother leaf, I suppose. And he's doing really well. I'm actually genuinely pretty impressed. I don't know if that's going to focus. He's doing really well. He's just like, this whole thing is just roots of that little plant. I actually really need to plant that up, probably like in the next week or so. I have got a Hoya Silver Splash. Oh god, I can never remember the name of it. It's the Hoya Pubicalyx Silver Splash, I think it is. He's got kind of a little bit of root on the end there. He's kind of got a little bit stuck, so I'm thinking that means he has rooted. We've got a Carolina Folia, which again, he's definitely got some roots. You can't see anything in there, and I don't really want to disturb them too much as it's not kind of optimum conditions for them rooting at the moment. So we've got quite a few of these Begonia Boweray tiger paws, because my mother plant kind of died off, but I took a lot of propagations, a lot of the leaves, because I kind of saw where we were going with it, and they are all doing pretty well. So this is a little baby plant of the Boweray tiger paws, so he's doing great, and hopefully all of these, they're all still alive, so even if they haven't rooted yet, they probably will, hopefully. Here is another little chloronura leaf. There we go. Yeah, down here is another little chloronura leaf. He has a few roots. Again, I'm not going to disturb it. This is one of my Begonia erythrophylla black jungles. I don't know whether this is going to root or not. He's kind of going a bit soggy and rotten, so we will see what happens there. And finally, we've got I think this is Begonia Starbright, which is another Rex cultivar, and that is his little new leaf there. So he's doing really well. This is something that has kind of disintegrated, so yeah, that's not working. But other than that, all seems to be going well. Oh, and finally we've got this little Begonia maculata Tamaya. Oh, I can never remember the name of him. And he seems to have a little bit of rootage going on there. Again, not going to pull it out too much. So yep, that is propagation box number 1. Okie dokie, propagation box number 2. This one's not much going on in here really. It's more kind of pockets of moss, and so we've got some I want to say fairy moss or something like that. I can't remember what that one's called, to be honest with you. That's kind of clinging on to life there. A couple of pockets of green moss of some description. Still not really sure what they are. We've got a bit of Easter cactus, which may or may not root. I am not sure. We've got some, oh, I can never remember what this name is. Ficus. I'm going to have to put that on the screen because I can't remember what his name is. I bought a load of this and it just absolutely tanked like immediately, and this is the only little bit that I've got left. It certainly likes its high humidity and certainly does not like being posted. So yeah, that one's a tricky one, not gonna lie. I have got some little Scindapsus pictus here, and that is pretty much it. I've got a little Dischidia ovata watermelon. This one is like clung to life for a very long time but never done anything, so we'll see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath. I can't remember what that is, so we'll have to wait until it's bigger and find out. And a little bit of pothos and joy, and that's pretty much it for this propagation box. I haven't done a great deal with it because it's just not really the right time to be propagating, or at least in my home. So I will take you over to a couple of the other ones just now. Okay, so here are 2 smaller, slightly smaller anyway, propagation boxes that I have. They kind of live here under a grow light, so they're not they don't get the best light in the world, but not the worst either, so they certainly seem to do okay, she says, with a great big rotting leaf on the top. So this was a Begonia erythrophylla leaf. He's clearly not too happy, so I will probably need to remove that. I've got a couple of the black jungle leaves. If you remember from my unboxing from Cowell's Garden Centre, when my black jungle arrived, he had quite a few kind of bashed leaves, so I removed them to be able to propagate them, hopefully. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not convinced that propagation boxes are the right way to go for erythrophylla leaves, because they are just a bit too kind of succulenty, and I get the feeling that they just kind of take up too much moisture. I don't know. I have had a bit more success with my erythrophyllas when I've been sticking them in water for water propagation, so maybe that is the way. But as you can see, sometimes it does work. So this is a little baby Begonia erythrophylla growing away here. So there's a handful of people that I've said that I will give erythrophyllas to if and when my propagations work. So if I have said that to you, be warned, there will be one coming hopefully at some point. And there's another little one here. So that is all positive. We've got a rooted one here, but with no plant yet. And I've got a couple that I have propagated in water. This is my sad looking little Monstera dubia. He has struggled. I'm not sure what the dealio was with him. He was doing really, really well, and then suddenly dropped all of his leaves out of nowhere. So I have chopped him back to the soil. I'm trying to propagate the remainder of his stem and just see how that goes, but I decided to keep him in the propagation box to keep him nice and warm. I've got a tiny little bit of Philodendron erubescens, which is finally starting to show a sign of rooting / a new leaf, I don't really know, and a tiny bit of Begonia aldermore. because this was a leaf that got just really bashed, as you can see, but there's no reason why it can't necessarily propagate from that leaf. So that is this box, which is just not really, it's not really doing much. I could probably use that space a bit better, and certainly now that we're heading towards spring, I will be doing more propagations again. And then we've got this little box that lives next to it. So this one's a bit more alive. Okay, so here, ooh, he's very wet, isn't he? This is one of the Begonia chloronura cuttings that I took. He's actually now a little bit bigger than when I received mine in the post. So he's doing really, really well. I'm not sure quite why he's still so wet, because I only watered them like, well, 2 weeks ago, I think. So I probably need to keep a bit more of an eye on that, but hey ho. He seems to be all right anyway. And then I've just got a load of little peperomia, scandens variegata growing here. As you can see, there's a little new plantlet growing there. I've got this really cool peperomia caparata of some description. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but let's see if this one, oh, they're all kind of rooted, but basically they're like a dark leaf with pink around the edges, and they're really, really beautiful. The mother plant just died off. I don't know what happened. Something wrong with me and large peperomias, they just die like in an instant, but luckily I had taken quite a few leaves off in the previous weeks, and I was able to salvage a couple as well from the dying plants. So as you can see, we've got a little kind of plantlet growing there and another little plantlet growing here. So really, really chuffed with that. We've got a little peperomia prostrata, oops, there, which he's not dead, but he's not propagating yet. He's not rooted. So we've got just a couple of those hanging around. I always seem to kill those. I don't know why. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can. This is a little, I think it's a Begonia mazae nigricans. The parent leaf has kind of died, so I have no idea what it is. I think it's that. It's either that or a tiger paws, a Boweray tiger paws, I should say. But it's hard to tell until it gets a bit bigger. I should probably pot it up. This one, similar situation. The parent leaf has died, but I'm 99% sure that is a Boweray tiger paws. And then we've got just a couple of little cuttings. Oops, sorry, wasn't even showing you that. We've got a couple of cuttings of the Syngonium red arrow. I think that's what its name is. I'm having a complete brain blank at the moment. Yeah, I think this is the Syngonium red arrow. So he is throwing out, well, he's throwing out some roots on the side here, and I think that could be a new leaf there, possibly. So that is looking good. And then finally, we've just got this little peperomia pixie thingy. Again, I'm really crap with my peperomia names. Oh, and I forgot to mention actually this saxifrage, creeping strawberry saxifrage thingy. Variegated version, and this is another one where I killed off the mother plant, but I was able to take a little propagation of it. So this is one thing that I would say to people is, if you're not sure what you're doing with your plant, just try and make sure you propagate it, because even if you just take 1 or 2 leaves, it just kind of gives you a bit of insurance. Even if you kill off the mother plant, then you still have like a backup essentially. So that is kind of how, you know, I made that huge death list. That's how I've kind of learned to overcome the habit of killing plants, is by taking propagation, so that ultimately you've kind of got backups, so that if you kill your original plant, you've got one still to go. So that is always really handy, particularly with begonias. So I will just, as promised, give you a little overview of my begonias. Right, so again, this is where I'm keeping most of my begonias, under a grow light. They seem to be really enjoying it. Ooh, I'm just losing my microphone there. But I'm gonna close that off so that you can see a bit better. As you will see, my Begonia Dark Eyes has like gone on a lean. He's doing almost too well. We've got a flowering Begonia Maculata Tamaya up there. My Martin Johnson, I think that one is, big one here. He's doing really well. And the Star Bright as well, really happy looking begonias. Yeah, this is Martin Johnson. Such a weird name, but such a beautiful leaf. I will do a formal video of my begonias with like proper lighting and everything. It's kind of a grey day outside. But here's the little newbies that you may have seen in my previous video. We can see some new growth there on the Marmaduke. Nothing yet for the tiny curly Fireflush, but the Midnight Magic is doing pretty well. I know that this is probably not like the best way to see these. Bloody winter, hey. But there we go. I will do a proper formal update, but this is just kind of in the interim. This is the little David Blaze. He's doing really well. Marie Reed, still no sign of life, or no sign of new life, I should say, but she is still looking healthy, so hopefully we'll get a leaf sometime soon. Begonia Wallinyai is doing extremely well. I'm so chuffed with this because I absolutely love it. I just think it's such a pretty little begonia. This one may or may not still be alive. I don't know. It seems to keep like coming and going. It'll grow a little green shoot here and then disappear again. So we'll see. Then we have got my Begonia Griffon, who took a little nosedive lately. I have been finding that even though my begonias on the whole have been picking up, they have been kind of having little hissy fits, like my Thirst. Well, there you go. My Thurstonii, which is, it dropped a big leaf and then it popped out this little one off, like almost like off a plantlet or a branch. So I'm very perplexed about that one. Curly Fireflush doing pretty well. He's growing lots of like little newbie bits and bobs. What else? Sizemore is picking up. Happy days. And Carolinifolia is also growing some little plantlets. Again, this one's had a bit of a hissy fit. I think it's probably something to do with the temperature or the heating. And my Maculata Whitey's got some little new leaves growing here. So, you know, overall, we're doing all right. But yeah, definitely some drama queens here. Yeah, sorry, this is not the best way to show them. I really need to get my proper lights in here, so I will do that for the proper update. I definitely will take that on board. So that is everything from me this week. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you are okay with the occasional kind of update videos. As I mentioned before, I'm kind of finding it a little bit difficult to always come up with plant content, and I think just having a little bit of freedom to do other stuff occasionally is going to alleviate that kind of pressure to always come up with something interesting plant related. So I am very sorry if you're only here for the plants, but I will always try and keep the plants into it because it's very much my bag, you know. I do love my plants. So yeah. Thank you as always for watching, and let me know in the comments if you enjoy this type of video, or if not, then just tell me, that's fine. I'm here for all the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week. Bye guys.